Hey, Watersports and Tour Operators, it's Dustin Miller from the PPC Pros. This quick video about water sports for Google Ads or Google Ads for water sports. So basically, what I want to do is go over a quick case study / example of a client we've had for a few years now. I want to take you back in time to when they first started with us. See a little bit beforehand, a little bit after. And the reason for this video is to show you that we do a pretty good job for water sports and tour operators. That's pretty obvious. We're looking at right now a date range back in summer of 2019. So this wasn't last year where it was just crazy, and this year was just crazy for everybody. I will show you some more recent stats, but this is basically showing you two things. It's showing you what a client was doing on their own, running their own Google Ads, and then right after we got started, how things changed. And it also is something I wanted to highlight the fact that this person actually knew a pretty decent amount about Google Ads. I mean, they weren't an expert per se, but they did a decent job, and better than most other operators that I talk to, or even business owners in other industries that I talk to. Really quickly, I just want to compare two different timelines. So we started our new campaigns with this client right in this little middle part here. I think it was May 17th. So what you can see right here, this blue line is basically the cost for a phone call, which was booking. There was no online bookings being tracked back at this time. And then the red line here is the number, like the quantity of those phone calls per day. And you can see that he was cresting somewhere between, really good days, like $100 per call. Some days it was 200 and change per call. And he would get, a handful of calls, not even a handful of calls a day. So it's kind of a low number. Right around here we started, those numbers completely inverted. And we started getting a lot more calls for a lot less. So if you look down here, you're going to see that we basically, I'm showing a few months or a month and a half or so while they were running their campaign, and then an equal amount of spend for our new campaign. So you can see this is their old campaign. They spent about $4,400 over that period, so almost 2 months. They got about almost 50 phone calls, so not horrible. They were paying about $90 per phone call, so it's high. This is for pontoon rental. So when you have pontoon rental and you're booking it out for $200 to $300, maybe a little bit more, a $90 phone call is a pretty high price unless you're going to book pretty much everybody that calls you, which our campaign, our new campaign that we set up that started right around here, you can see in this time range, we spent just under the $4,400, so almost $4,300, but we generated 202 phone calls. So we spent almost the same amount, a little bit less, and we generated 4 times as many bookings, right? Or 3 times more bookings. And we did that for a phone call cost about $21. So we were able to cut that cost down about 70%, and it happened almost overnight. And you can see right here, the red line being how many calls we were getting, and the blue line being what our costs for those calls were. I mean, this week we were at $14. This was the very first week of the campaign. And some weeks it was higher, some weeks it was lower, but it averaged over this period of time somewhere around, $21 per call. So what does that mean? Does that mean we're awesome and this guy's horrible? No, it doesn't. It just means that we were able to find some areas, which is basically the big takeaway for you guys. If you're running your own Google Ads or you're thinking about running your own Google Ads, I would honestly tell you, you can try to do it yourself, but reality is, we do this every day. And whether, you work with somebody like us or another agency who does this, if you're not a Google Ads expert, you're not willing to invest the time into the training and keeping up with all the changes that are going on. If you're already running Google Ads, you're not seeing this kind of result, or you're not seeing anything even close to it, or you're not even tracking anything, which most of you guys, unfortunately, are not even tracking anything, so you have no idea how well it's working. We do offer a complimentary Google Ads audit, where we get in here and we take a look at the account, see if there's a way we can help you. There's no obligation to work with us after that. I'm just honestly happy if I get to meet some of you guys and put you on the right path, and maybe somebody who does need our help later on. Even if we don't work together, it's fine. This client, we actually did that same process with. We went over an audit, we found a few areas of opportunity, and as you can see, the results speak for themselves. We were able to cut his cost per phone call down by 70%, basically overnight, and get 4 times as many phone calls for the same budget. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.